Anonymous asks, to what extent do you need help with project documentation? I would say the biggest need as far as documentation right now is a kind of a better walkthrough of how the model works, what the different modules within it do, and what data passes from one to the next. We have some visualizations of that. We have a diagram of what the modules are and how they are connected, how data flows from one to the next, or if it as it goes through the model. But that's at best a brief summary. And for people that want to actually use the results of the model to make decisions about policy direction, to make decisions about investment, that's usually not enough. And we don't have a good document that provides a walkthrough of how the model works. We have an extremely detailed and very long document about the RRS models, but it's not very approachable. And so that sort of documentation would be very useful, but it would take quite a while to come up to speed on how the model works to the point of being able to produce it. Chris P. asks, are there plans for Drawdown to show progress as well as opportunities for improvement? I think the main place where that is shown is in the issue tracker on GitHub. We make an effort to file issues for things that would be good to do, but that are not like the next blocking item that needs to be done, and try and make those ideas of things to work on available for people who would like to help, people who would like to contribute. A good portion of the issues on the GitHub site are marked with a label of good first issue. It is believed the work could be done without having to come up to speed on a large amount of material or on a large portion of the project as it exists. That the thing to be worked on is much more localized and contained, and one can focus just on that. Showing progress, there is a dashboard, a model health dashboard of how many of the solutions are working in Python versus the number that still remain in Excel. And that has been our main metric to this point of how close are we to being able to model all of the solutions that are modeled in Excel. Anonymous asks, how is uncertainty dealt with in the models? Let me cover that from two aspects: uncertainty in the inputs to the models and error bars in the outputs from the models. For uncertainty in the inputs, the philosophy is to have multiple data sources for each input wherever possible. It's quite common for each figure of merit, each input that goes into one of the solution models, to have multiple sources in what is called variable meta-analysis, where multiple sources are combined, usually taking the mean. The standard deviation of the different sources is computed. If one source is very much an outlier compared to the others, it may be automatically taken out of the mean, and try to get to a dependable, higher quality input in that way. In terms of error bars in the outputs, that is something that needs to be done and is not done. The computations within the model are handled using pandas data frames in Python, and there are extensions available for pandas that will take error bars along with the data frame and carry them through the computation, and will accumulate them as they go. That's something that would be very interesting. However, most of the data sources that we use now, if the original source paper or source material contained the error bars, we haven't entered that data yet. So the amount of, it would be more than just writing the code. The data would also need to provide the degree of error within the inputs.